Well, thanks for joining us, everyone, for the Sunday News at 10. I'm Carolyn Hawley, filling in tonight. It is a case that has gripped the nation for more than 3 years. The disappearance and subsequent murders of 2 eastern Idaho children. Last spring, Lori Vallow-Daybell, the mom of those 2 kids, was found guilty of those murders. She was also found guilty of conspiring to murder her 5th husband's late wife, Tammy. Lori will spend the rest of her life in prison, and now her husband, Chad Daybell, is getting ready for his trial, where he faces 6 counts, including murder. Here's how we got here.
Chad Guy Daybell was born in 1968 in Provo, Utah. He graduated from BYU. In 1990, he married Tammy. Together, Chad and Tammy Daybell had 5 children. In 2004, Chad and Tammy started a publishing company called the Spring Creek Book Company. Chad wrote and published more than 20 books. In 2015, the Daybell family moved to eastern Idaho. Chad continued to write books, primarily focused on religion, while Tammy worked in local schools. In the fall of 2018, Chad met Lori Vallow at a religious conference in St. George, Utah. Less than a year later, in August 2019, Lori, her 2 kids, JJ and Tylee, Lori's brother Alex Cox, and her niece Melanie Boudreau moved to Rexburg, the general area where Chad and his family lived. Within a month of the move, both JJ and Tylee would go missing and wouldn't be seen alive ever again. On October 9th, 2019, Tammy Daybell calls 911, saying she was shot at with a paintball gun. An indictment states, quote, Alex Cox attempted to shoot Tammy on October 9th, 2019. Tammy is found dead 10 days later. At the time, the medical examiner ruled she died from natural causes. 3 weeks later, on November 5th, 2019, Chad and Lori married in Hawaii. Later that month, JJ's grandparents, Kay and Larry Woodcock, ordered a welfare check on JJ. They told police they hadn't seen or heard from him since September. Chad and Lori told police the kids were in Arizona with a family friend. But after a search of Lori's townhome, which they found empty, and a storage unit, police came up empty-handed. On December 11th, 2019, Tammy's body is exhumed in Utah. During Lori's trial in 2023 in Ada County, the coroner testified Tammy died from asphyxiation. The day after her body was exhumed, Lori's brother Alex died, police say, from natural causes. In late December of 2019, Rexburg police asked for help finding JJ and Tylee. Days later, police say Chad and Lori are wanted for questioning. Then on January 3rd, 2020, police and the FBI searched Daybell's home. On January 25th, Lori, who was in Hawaii with Chad, received a court order to produce the kids within 5 days. She was eventually arrested in Hawaii and extradited back to Idaho. On June 9th, 2020, police found JJ and Tylee's bodies on Chad's property. That's when Lori called him from jail. The phone call was made public during Lori's trial.
I'm glad you called. So, we'll see what transpires. What? Yeah, right.
Chad was arrested later that day and charged in connection to their deaths. He's been in jail ever since. In May of 2021, a grand jury indicted both Chad and Lori, and in August of that year, prosecutors filed to seek the death penalty against them.
Members of the grand jury deliberated and determined there is probable cause to believe the Daybells willfully and knowingly conspired to commit several crimes that led to the death of 3 innocent people.
The couple's case was eventually severed, and the death penalty was later removed for Lori. Their trials are moved to Ada County to find an impartial jury. In May of 2023, after a 6-week trial, Lori was eventually found guilty on all charges and sentenced to life in prison. In January of 2024, Chad's longtime attorney John Pryor asked to be removed from the case, as Daybell could no longer afford his representation. The judge dismissed that motion, and Pryor will remain as Daybell's attorney throughout his trial. Last week, Daybell was taken to the Ada County Jail ahead of trial.
And Daybell's trial starts tomorrow with jury selection. Because this is a death penalty case, the selection could take much longer than it did with Lori's trial. The trial for Chad is expected to last 8 to 10 weeks. So for everything you need to know about this upcoming trial, text the word Daybell to the number on your screen, 208-321-5614. We'll send you the latest on what's happening in the case.